Yes, Honorable Prime Minister. I don't want you to feel like me chat too much and me a text it on you. The reason why I have to come out and speak like this, I gave you my big fat X beside the bell. We gave you third term. And because I know me give you third term, anytime you make the slightest mistake, I coming out for you. And I just don't want you to believe to say, is the MP them in a jail pay the problem. The MP them is quite fine. You, the leader, is the problem. Because the first problem we have with you start this the people and we vote you in. And when you did I look the vote your campaign day and night to make sure you win your seat. And you win your seat and you have a goal. And you reach your goal now. Because you reach your goal you can this way. But me tell you say, watch your mouth. Because Jamaica people are not easy set of people them. There's a lot of prime minister will come in this country. And none of them not behave like you. You are the only one when me see come at this Jamaica people. Not because them show you so them love you. You are going to take them love for weakness, my brethren. A revolution are going to start. And until it start, you're not going to like it. Better careful how you do the people them. And stop selling out them land too. You sell it to foreigner.
I am going to go out on a limb here and say, I know that the government must be doing a lot of strategic planning and logistics and trying to get the best care and help utilizing all of the aid we're getting internationally. So I know that that is a huge task. I can't even fathom the logistics aspect of it, but I know they must be doing something. But if I'm going to be honest, as just a regular person who is trying to do my little part and observing what's happening, I don't feel like I'm seeing enough happening on the larger scale and on the scale that the government needs to implement. Somebody made a post recently and I saw it, and she was making reference to Jamaica needs refugee camps. I'm going to erase the word refugee because it has a negative connotation. And I know that we have many people who are of mixed opinions on this. But my little 2 cents, I honestly feel that all of these communities and parishes that were hit so badly by Melissa, we do need camps, compounds, I don't know what you want to call it, but I feel the government needs to put in place safe, temporary communities built out by the government in maybe you select 3 areas or communities in each of these parishes. Hear me out. This is what my little common sense, and maybe not that common, I don't know, but this is how my mind is working. All of these families have been displaced. They have no home, no shelter. They're eating, they're sleeping, they're relieving themselves all in the same area. They have no protection from the elements. They have no protection from the scrupulous people around them. The women and children have no protection from the men who are now taking advantage of them. So it is a very animalistic free-for-all that's happening. The people are losing hope. Something needs to be implemented relatively quickly. Yes, I know the government is more than likely trying to figure out long-term homes and structures and what have you, and I know that takes time. But in the interim, our people need somewhere safe to sleep, be sheltered, get medical assistance, and to feel safe. So to me, if I had the power, me, little Shani, I would build out these compounds. These compounds would need temporary fencing, first of all, that fence off an entire area. So you see all them fencing companies, they need to donate some of this temporary fencing. The fence should all have barbed wire at the top of it. Not to keep those inside from going out, but to keep those people from the outside coming in. Just like if you moved into a complex, a scheme, you would have boundary walls for protection, and who's supposed to be inside is inside. With that, soldiers need to be stationed at these compounds, at these schemes, temporary housing. Security needs to be there. Security for those people who are in there, okay? So the women and children not being raped off. With that, they need to have temporary, but this temporary might run a year, temporary sleeping structures. So it's more like a dormitory. These pop-up properly tented areas with different amount of cots in there, but people can sleep in peace without thinking somebody's going to come in there and rape them. They need to have portalets put down there. If them can't bring portalets, them need to build old-time pit latrine. They need to dig certain amount of pits, knock up some wooden pit latrines in the meantime that's separated from where people are sleeping and eating. In this area, whatever you want to call it, whatever kind of compound, scheme, all of the debris needs to be physically moved and put somewhere else. They need to build out a commissary area, an area that collectively people will be meal prepping, cooking. Back in the day, you used to see your granny and them people use zinc and them cook on top of the zinc, then put wood underneath and burn wood for create coal. And we need to get creative, but create a safe, clean space while more aid is coming. So yes, I know some people are like, the concept of a refugee camp is horrible and that's not for our Jamaican people. Right now, we need to look at bringing back humanity and allowing our people to feel human. When you think of what constitutes feeling human, you're not eating, sleeping, and defecating in the same space. You are not left to the elements that mosquito near you, fly a pitch pan you, roach a crawl over you, rat on you, a fight for the little food that you have. That's not how we're meant to live. So I feel that the government needs to be putting something like this in place. Multiple executions of this. In that same area, you have small medical tents set up, but all of this has to be governed by some kind of protection. So the soldiers need to be stationed here, or the police need to be stationed here until the larger help comes. Us common little people, the help that we are sending down, it's temporary aid. It's a band-aid. It's getting our affected neighbors, getting them help during this 1 week that has turned into 2 weeks, which will turn into a few months until larger structures can be put in place and the main help and the long-term help can be put in place. But I know that takes time. It takes logistics. Also, throwing it out there for more ideas for the government to put in place. You see, when all of these containers are shipped to Jamaica, bringing aid, bringing supplies, bringing all of these things, keep these containers and start retrofitting them. These containers can house up to 3 families in a 40-foot container. Structure it. My studio was built out of containers. It is very doable. For the structures and houses that the roof did blow down, the windows were blown out, give priority to getting roofs and windows put back into those structures and get those families back into those structures. So it lessens how many people have been displaced. So I think there needs to be a structure in how the help is being given. Not to mention the food supplies that are seemingly being distributed to the same parishes and the same people. The communities who are deeper into these parishes are not getting the aid. Many times when the trucks come, they're being delivered and dropped off at the entry of many of these communities. I know now that the roads are being clear, people have more access to get deeper in, but I'm still getting reports that the communities that are further into the parish and more on the back ends of these parishes, they're not getting the aid. So we need to figure out faster. I don't know. I know we're all feeling dejected and feeling like our fellow neighbors are not getting the aid fast enough. Yeah, something more needs to be done. It's just so hard to get up every morning and my brain keeps turning over. What more can I do? How can I lend my voice? And I know so many of us feel this way. We're 2 weeks in and I just don't feel like I'm seeing enough being done by the government, and I'm not seeing enough accountability and explanation as to how all of the external aid will be distributed. and joining forces with the private sector to ensure that proper logistics and strategic planning and distribution of these items, and also accountability. Our country needs to know that we're trusting our government. So yes, I do believe the government is doing a lot of work. This is a mammoth task. But to get more support from the private sector and from us little people, we need a trust factor. So yeah, that's my headspace today.
Andrew, don't want you guys to record yourself handing out aid, because he wants to lie about how much money he spent on aid. $225 million. Really, we need the receipts, Andrew. That is why I'm telling him to give on the quiet. Same time, he went up to a compound and recorded himself giving out aid. What a selfish look up. Jesus Christ. If one say this man is not a good person, something wrong with him now. I'm gonna sick him down the head.
I am warning you from early out, sir. Please, let go the lands. Let Jamaicans can get a little piece of land to buy, whether it's $2 million or $3 million, we can make our life best forward. Because a whole heap of people is not worthless, them worthless, and is not cruft them be. Them try life beat them bad, them get up, wash up themselves, and I come again. So may I beg you please and thanks, Mr. Prime Minister, allow lands to be around, that we can get lands to buy within the JLP members. Stop tell lies. When did you spend $225 million on food for Melissa relief? That's a lie. You guys stop robbing the country and stop tell lies.
Look at that handshake.
So this is a 2-bedroom solution. Okay, so yourself and your son and your grandson will be occupying. Nice. And I suspect this is your room. Your son will be here, a nice bathroom, and so a lovely general here, and your kitchen. Very nice. Very nice. Congratulations on your new home.
So this is the hottest item at the tree. Yeah, everybody's going to get a gift, all the kids, but all the parents are coming for this life-saving 5 gallons, which is generally very well sanitized. So you can have potable water in this, meaning water that you can drink and bathe and cook with, water for personal hygiene purposes. And in a time like this, when you don't have electricity and you don't have regular water, having storage is important. So I'm very happy that the NWC has partnered with Yellow to provide these containers. I like these 5-gallon buckets because I've noticed that when persons have lined up to get their water from the trucks, the hoses are probably oversized or the pressure is too high, so they can't fill small containers with a smaller hose, and there's a lot of wastage. If this is done correctly, you could have most, if not all, of your water in the container and not on
That's true.
with these.
Exactly.
So these are good. Yes. And they are sealed and they are sealed very tight. In fact, I don't want to even see this because you're gonna struggle to remove it. But they are sealed tight. So these are very good. But ultimately, though, at the end of the day, we want to return things to normalcy, so that this is just a backup and not your primary source of work. All right, keep up the good work. Thank you, sir. Keep up the good work.
We've always been in the community, so it was a no-brainer for us that we needed to help. And we're trying to think of how we can help. We wanted to partner with one of our advertisers, and we had the idea of giving water. We don't know who, what, when, but we contacted WWC, and Delano was more than willing to help us figure this plan out.
Yeah, it was a labor of love, but it's definitely one of the partnerships that we think has had added so much value to the lives of many Jamaicans. Right here in Western Jamaica, there are so many persons that still do not have access to piped water. Correct. And so when Yellow contacted us, it was a no-brainer that we're going to say yes. How we operate is they've basically partnered with providing the containers. We do the sanitizing of it. We've also ensured that there is pure, clean drinking water, whether it's in the trucks or the various loading bays that we utilize to deliver water to the customer. And so today we are seeing a combination of those requests. Some persons want the buckets filled with water, others want the bucket because they have some piped water, but they don't have any storage container. And that's why these containers have really proven to be useful, because they are reusable, they are portable, and they are carrying potable water.
The government supports and endorses the return of recreation and entertainment to spaces that have been impacted by the hurricane. And we are leading by example. But we always say, if it's party or sports or fun, at the end of the day, everybody must go back home safely. So whatever we are doing, we must recognize safety and security. So the promoters, the people whose business it is to put on party, entertainment and recreation, please focus on the safety of the people who come to support your event. The police are stretched as it is, so we ask you to be conscientious about time as well. Remember, some people don't have any water at their home, so think about how you're going to provide the necessary hygiene and care when they come to these events. So, yes, we want to say entertainment, yes, bring back the recreation, but I ask the promoters and those people who are involved in the business to be conscientious as well. That's all we say. Have fun, because it has been a rough time. And a lot of people are going through trauma, and the only way to deal with trauma sometimes is to give people relief, something different, and that's what we are doing.
Out here with us, our Prime Minister, Right Honorable Juliet Holness, and the person from the Office of the Prime Minister. We have our MP, Honorable Floyd Green, with us. Have representatives from KFC. We're very grateful for them, and I know that our parents and children are very appreciative of this initiative. We are grateful for all this that is happening here today to bring some joy and love to our children who have gone through this devastation and need this experience. To bring some joy. Thank you, Prime Minister, and it's wonderful seeing you. You look better in person than
Quickly, just to thank the Office of the Prime Minister. All of these communities are some of the hardest hit areas from Hurricane Melissa. All the housing sub-projects have been impacted. This was a shelter, still has people here. That's how hard the area was. The children went through a very difficult experience, but now they're out having a good time because of the OPM, because of KFC and all the partners. So on behalf of the residents, I just want to say thank you, PM. Thank you to the team. This is just the start, and you know we will build back together.
I'm very happy to be with you today. The Office of the Prime Minister, and this time of year, in the Utile season, always puts on a treat. We do a seniors treat and we do kiddies treats. But we are usually confined to Kingston. And we usually treat the children in Kingston. This year, because of the devastation of Melissa, where at least 6 parishes experienced significant damage and dislocation, we decided that we will use the resources of the OPM and do those treats that we normally do in Kingston, and we bring them here to where it really matters, to where people really need the assistance. We have given a direction to all the government ministries, departments and agencies that they should do similarly. They should have outreach to the communities that have been impacted significantly. We have said to them that the normal Christmas parties that they would keep, that they should scale them down in recognition and in respect of the persons who are now experiencing dislocation, hurt and trauma. As one family, as one country, half can't be happy and the other half sad. So those who are not impacted, the government must set the example that those who are not impacted should focus on and support those who have been impacted. But we also have another message. The government supports and endorses the return of recreation and entertainment to spaces that have been impacted by the hurricane. And we are leading by example. I want to thank our sponsors, KFC, Pizza Hut. So we have some toys and gifts that we will be giving to the kids. I do that every year. This year will be no different, except we are doing it here in an area that has been impacted. I see a lot of people here moving about, lots of rides and fun stuff to do. I can't go on any of the rides, so I'll send your member of parliament to go on some of the rides with you. But I leave here very shortly to make my way to Petersfield. Petersfield will be the host location of the senior street. So we are spreading it all around.
Look at that. Right. Oh, look at her. You see what she's going for? She's going for the doll.